Alanna Smith's journey is not just the story of an athlete, it is the story of a life shaped by family, heritage, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of excellence across oceans and cultures. To truly appreciate the woman she has become, one must start with her beginnings in Tasmania and later Melbourne, Australia, an environment far removed from the bright lights of the WNBA, but one that instilled in her the values of toughness, humility, and discipline. Basketball was more than a game in her household, it was a part of her family's very DNA. Her father, Alanna Smith, was a standout player in Australia, representing the Boomers on the international stage. For a young girl watching her father compete, the game wasn't just entertainment, it was a living, breathing example of where dedication could take you. Her mother and wider family were equally supportive, making sure Alanna had the environment to dream big while still staying grounded in who she was and where she came from. Growing up in Australia, Alanna was immersed in a sporting culture that celebrated grit and competitiveness. But her pathway into basketball wasn't merely a result of being in a sports-oriented family. From an early age, she exhibited a natural talent, coordination, agility, and an uncanny feel for the game. Coaches noticed her potential, and it wasn't long before she was competing at a level far beyond her years. Yet, talent alone wasn't enough. Alanna was a worker, a player who thrived on the grind. Even as a teenager, she was known for her willingness to push through drills, to stay after practice, to refine her jump shot, to test her conditioning. These habits became the bedrock of her success later in life. Australia has always been a breeding ground for basketball talent, producing legends like Lauren Jackson and Penny Taylor, as well as contemporaries like Liz Cambage and Leilani Mitchell. For Alanna, these women weren't distant stars, they were inspirations, proof that Australian players could thrive at the highest levels of the game. Watching them succeed gave her both motivation and a sense of possibility. Still, there was a difference between dreaming of greatness and pursuing it. For Alanna, the turning point came when she decided to leave home and take her talents to the United States, committing to Stanford University. It was a decision that required both courage and conviction. Leaving her family, her friends, and the comfort of her homeland, she embarked on a journey that would challenge her in ways she had never known. Stanford University is one of the most prestigious institutions in the world, both academically and athletically. For Alanna, arriving there was like stepping into a new universe. She wasn't just adapting to a higher level of basketball, she was adapting to a different culture, a different lifestyle, and the pressures of excelling both in the classroom and on the court. But it was at Stanford where she blossomed. Under the guidance of the legendary coach Tara Vanderveer, Alanna developed into one of the nation's top players. Vanderveer saw in her not just size and athleticism, but also versatility and intelligence. By her senior year, she had become the quintessential modern forward, a player who could stretch the floor with her shooting, defend multiple positions, and energize her teammates with her intensity. Her college career was marked by steady growth. As a freshman, she had to learn patience, often coming off the bench behind established players. But she embraced the process, understanding that greatness required not only skill but also resilience and humility. Year after year, she improved. By the time she was a senior, she had earned All-American honors, cementing her place as one of the most respected forwards in college basketball. She helped Stanford reach deep into NCAA tournaments, carrying the weight of expectations with grace and consistency. Those 4 years were not just about basketball, they were about personal growth, about learning to be far from home while carving out her own path in a world that often tested her resolve. The 2019 WNBA draft marked the next chapter of her journey. When the Phoenix Mercury selected her with the 8th overall pick, it was a moment of validation, proof that the sacrifices she had made were worthwhile. For Alanna, hearing her name called wasn't just about personal triumph, it was about representing her family, her country, and all the young athletes back home in Australia who dared to dream. Joining a team with legends like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner was both exhilarating and intimidating. Here she was, a rookie from Australia, stepping into a locker room filled with championship pedigree. Her early years in the WNBA, however, were not without struggle. Minutes were hard to come by. In a league where roster spots are limited and competition is fierce, international players often face an uphill battle. Alanna was no exception. She had to fight for every opportunity, often sitting on the bench longer than she wanted, watching others take the floor while she waited for her chance. For some players, such circumstances can erode confidence. But Alanna is not wired that way. Her resilience, honed over years of sacrifice and persistence, allowed her to stay focused. She knew her time would come, and when it did, she was determined to seize it. Parallel to her WNBA career, Alanna's role with the Australian Opals was equally important. Representing Australia is not just an honor, it is part of her identity. Wearing the green and gold jersey connects her to her heritage, her family, and her country's long-standing basketball tradition. She has played in major international tournaments, including the FIBA World Cup and the Olympics, often stepping into critical roles. For the Opals, Alanna brings not just talent, but versatility. She can defend, rebound, and stretch defenses with her shooting, a rare combination that makes her invaluable in international play. For her, these moments are about more than basketball. They are about carrying the pride of her nation on a global stage. Alanna's journey has not been without setbacks. Injuries, inconsistent playing time, and the challenges of balancing professional basketball in two hemispheres have tested her at every turn. Yet, each obstacle has shaped her, refining her character and strengthening her resolve. She has never been one to complain or make excuses. Instead, she has embraced the grind, leaning on her faith, her family, and her love for the game to keep pushing forward. Her teammates often describe her as someone who lifts others, someone whose positivity and determination are contagious. These qualities make her not only a valuable player but also a cherished teammate. In recent seasons, Alanna's career has begun to reach new heights. With increased playing time and opportunities, she has shown what she is truly capable of, scoring efficiently, defending with intensity, and proving herself as a reliable and versatile forward. These performances have silenced doubts and reinforced what those who know her best have always believed, that Alanna Smith belongs on the biggest stage, and that her best basketball is still ahead of her. Off the court, Alanna continues to inspire. She has been open about the challenges of living far from home, the sacrifices required to pursue her dream, and the importance of mental toughness. Her humility and authenticity resonate with fans, making her relatable in a way that statistics and highlights never could. She is more than an athlete, she is a role model, especially for young Australian players who aspire to follow in her footsteps. To them, she represents not just possibility, but proof that the path is real and attainable. What makes Alanna's story particularly inspiring is its universality. Though rooted in the specific world of professional basketball, her journey speaks to anyone who has ever chased a dream, faced setbacks, or stepped out of their comfort zone in search of growth. She reminds us that greatness is not always about immediate success. Sometimes, it is about resilience, persistence, and the willingness to endure the journey, no matter how long or difficult it may be. Looking ahead, Alanna Smith's legacy is still being written. But already, she has carved out a place for herself in the narrative of Australian basketball and the global women's game. She is a bridge between continents, a player who embodies both the toughness of her homeland and the sophistication of the modern WNBA. Her impact extends far beyond the court, touching lives and inspiring futures. She is living proof that with resilience, humility, and determination, no dream is too distant, and no challenge too great. As fans, we are privileged to witness her journey. We watch not only the points she scores or the rebounds she grabs, but the way she carries herself, the way she inspires her teammates, and the way she represents her country with pride. Alanna Smith is more than a basketball player. She is a symbol of perseverance, a beacon of possibility, and a testament to the power of belief. Her story is still unfolding, and if the past is any indication, the best is yet to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and career of Alanna Smith. If her resilience, her determination, and her quiet yet powerful strength inspired you, let it be a reminder in your own life that the path to greatness is rarely smooth, but always worth it. Like this video if her journey moved you, share it with someone who needs encouragement to chase their dreams, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another story of triumph, inspiration, and unwavering spirit.